Hello, my name is Marcus. I'm the compiler of a collection of therapy quotes entitled 1001 Windmills of the Mind, a collection of advanced self-help quotes taken from what's often called the psychodynamic or the psychoanalytic perspective, which long ago, as I understand, is referred to by some, or perhaps many, as philosophical medicine or narrative medicine. Nowadays, shadow work, something that you don't know about yourself, is considered to be in your unconscious, i.e., in the twilight zone, i.e., unknown to you, repressed, you don't see it. So the metaphor, since you don't see it, just like you don't see your shadow behind you when you're walking, you don't see your shadow. Metaphor means, well, there's something about us that we everything that you don't know about yourself, you put it together, you bundle it up together into a package, you create a character that's called your shadow self, your repressed self, your denied self, everything that you don't know about yourself. It's the one who walks with you, who's not like you, who is you. Someone's living your life, you know nothing about him. Sometimes a stranger with him. Sometimes the hidden self, the secret self, the second self, the shadow soul. Um, and he's not like you, but he is you. He's living your life. You don't know anything about him really. So the metaphor means there's a lot of us that we don't know. Okay? We don't know how we cope with trauma. We don't know what coping strategies we adopted to cope with the trauma. We don't know that. It went into the shadow self knows. The shadow knows. Okay? The shadow self knows. Um, we had an emerging self. We had what's called a budding beauty within us. A budding beauty called the emerging self, the authentic self. It's basic to our core self, our intrinsic self, our true self. It's a part of us. We were whole, we had it. But with trauma, that part of us, the true self or the real self, it called embodiment, ensoulment, beingness, the feminine element, the feminine principle, feeling real and alive in the body, ensoulment, embodiment. We live to the extent that we live to the extent that we feel there, we live there. Your I is there, I feel is there, and all the regular capacities of having the golden ball feelings, the wide range of feelings, radiance of feelings, aliveness of feeling, needed feelings, appropriate feelings. I feel such and such. So joy runs the console is the main one. Another image is the bluebird from there, the joy. Um, so we had our quote unquote golden ball or sense of completeness, but that major part of us, the authentic self, um, the child had to freeze it up. The metaphor is the child had to protect it by freezing it up and somehow develop operations of the mind, maneuvers of the mind, mechanisms of the mind called defense mechanisms or psychic defenses, something he does in the mind to make him unaware of the pain of it all, to cope with the pain of it all. So he develops, in the end, he develops what's called a false self, a defensive self, a structure that he goes by. It's all very defensive. Now he lives with defensive needs. He lives with defensive needs to maintain the defensive structure to protect this wounded soul of his. Now, this defensive self, this false self, is only there to protect the true self, not replace it. But some people get confused. They think their false self is the true self. Um, this usually comes to a person's attention at midlife when they feel something's wrong, something's missing, that kind of thing. Oh, by the way, I'm using the other phone this time to see how it works. Not by choice. Talk about Freudian slips. If you forget something, that's unconscious. So I forgot my regular phone that I use to make these videos with, and I'm using the phone in my hand here that I use to post the quotes, to read the quotes from. So I don't have the option today to read the quotes. So this will just be a part one, um, like introductory comments. In part two, I'll read the quotes that's on the phone I'm holding here. So I was just thinking about that. How did I forget my phone? That's really strange that I forgot my phone. So that must mean something in me didn't want to do this video. Okay, so if you forget something, that means your unconscious um, was driving the person. So I spaced out, I blotted out, and I forgot the phone. So my unconscious is saying, take a break maybe, or do something else maybe. And I came here. What the hell was my other phone here? Oh my God, I left it at home, kind of thing. So that's something from the shadow self. The shadow self did that. So the shadow self might be saying, yeah, you've done a lot of good videos here. Take a break, take a breather. Or maybe the topic in this batch of quotes is difficult to discuss. Maybe I don't want to talk about this topic. Put it aside. Forget the phone. So, if that's the case, let me see if I can remember at least some of the quotes that I would have done had I had the other phone. So maybe I'll jump into that here. The key one that stands out, if my unconscious was motivated to make me forget my phone because of any of the quotes that I was supposed to do today, it might have been this one, as follows, from a book by Miss Pines. Miss Pines, I just discovered it yesterday. What's the first name? Ayana or something. Ilana or something. I forgot the first name. Begins with an A. Miss Pines. Um, she makes the point. Um, well, she makes 2 points that I remember. Um, in the topic of romantic love and obsessive love, mesmerized, spellbound, this whole infatuation love, obsessive love, this kind of topic called falling in love, passion love, romantic love, infantile love, transference love, spellbound. We're talking about this love at first sight, and you're all so euphoria, can't sleep, thinking about it all the time, intrusive thoughts, and you feel this euphoric feeling, but you're worried if they don't reply, you'll stress and chase. Now you're obsessing about them. This whole kind of madness kind of thing, this whole lovesick, love needs to madness, that kind of infantile love. We're not talking about companionate love when two people have a sense of identity and then they can share, um, they can find some new creative endeavors where they both contribute their real self to something new like that. So it's companion love. Hella Fisher or somebody calls it companionate love. So the two companions, to people like that, they got the two eyes. But in puppy love stuff, the issue is each person wants to get their eye. Each person wants to resume development. The problem is the eye got frozen back in babyhood time. They want to resume development. So he wants to do it, she wants to do it. And I got a little kind of conflict like that. And one might be more invested in symbiosis, one might be more invested in individuation. So one wants more intimacy, one wants more distance, and they got this whole pursuit thing, and a lot of madness like that. So her quote was, let's just clarify this one. So as I currently understand it, your choice. Remember the puppet master? Remember the unconscious self, the double self, the secret self? That's a lot of power there. That's the one who chooses. That's the one who says, that's the one. There's Mr. Right, there's Mr. Right, or something like that. That's the one. Now, what are they referring to? Why do they think? Why does our unconscious self think that person in front of you, love at first sight? Why do they think that that's the one? What's going on? How do we understand this? Because we're going to feel a lot of biochemistry by this. We're going to feel a lot of dopamine and excitement and chase and fear and anger and worry and stuff. We're going to feel a lot of chemistry by this. So why does the unconscious self think the person you saw, in 1 second, just one look, play the song, just one look, that's all it took. Oh, just one look. I wish I could say. I wish I could be like David Cassidy, bring out the guitar, play a few, sing a few notes. Um, Actually, I do sometimes play Sissy Houston's, Whitney Houston's mother, Sissy Houston. She does an excellent cover, the live one, not the studio one, a live one of a cover of the Be My Baby song. Um, just one look. And she was like really obsessive. She was really like, really had an immense hope and euphoria that that's the one, and I'll do everything for you, and you're the one, and I can't live with you, can't live without you. Sometimes we play Rick Santos' song called Lovesick. Another lonely castaway on a ship that didn't want to be put out to sea. I can't see any stars tonight. I'm at the mercy of an unknown destiny. So it catches you off guard like that. So he said he didn't want to. Oh, and David Cassidy, of course, the famous song, I Think I Love You. I'm afraid of a love that there may be no cure of. I'm afraid of that kind of love. He's talking about limits. He's talking about transfers love. He's talking about this puppy love, desire to resume your development, find the secure mother that you should have had, go through the developmental process to have your eye. The trauma is we lost our eye and our golden ball. We want it. We want to get it back. We're in pain because of it. We have a hope for it. That part of the brain that records this trauma doesn't know time, so it's timeless. We have a timeless desire to resume development. So find someone who reminds you of the mother and resume development. So back to the question, why does the unconscious think that person you saw, across the room or something, oh, that's the one, you got all the symptoms of it, right? Your heart's racing, your eyes are, open wide, and you're thinking about them, and you're transfixed or something. What else happens? Actually, in the quote, she's got a list of things about her. I forgot already. So it seems to be the unconscious is saying, Um, when I bought this phone about a year ago, I tried it a couple of times and the audio wasn't good. There's a problem with the audio. There's like a delay kind of thing. So you might be hearing some kind of delay. I don't know why it does that. It has like a muffling sound. That's why I gave up on it. So today's a bit of an exception. Hopefully the audio is somewhat okay. Anyways, boy, it's baking out here. I'm really hot here. Jeez. Hold on a sec. Whew, I gotta take a few perspiration breaks here. Maybe I should take. Oh, I can't play any music. Yeah, what I'm holding is the music player as well, so I can't take it. I can't play any music. To my surprise, that David Cassidy song I played yesterday called what's it called again? Oh boy. Oh, lying to myself. Lying to myself. In 1990, he put out a solo album, just self-titled, David Cassidy, and his big hit, his one hit on there is called "Lying to Myself." There are a couple of other good songs on the album, but that's his main one called "Lying to Myself." To my surprise, it got through. So I can play that now in the videos. So it's a good song. He's lying to himself. So typical thing. He was spellbound, get unrequited pain. Oh, it's okay. I can deal with it. I'm not in pain. Oh, I'll manage it. Lying to myself. He's obsessive. Intrusive thoughts. Can't stop thinking about it. Can't sleep. This euphoria thing is still going on, called love sickness. So you're lying to yourself that you can push away the pain that you're now feeling, what you felt originally. So back to the unconscious. Now, hold on a second. Let me take a perspiration moment here. Jesus, how am I going to do this? Hold on a second. Let's do it this way. Yeah, give me a minute here. Is that going to be okay? See, and this phone is so fickle. I got to be careful with it. Okay, so let's go back to that question. Just one look. Whoa, right? So who decided that? Who flared up your chemistry around that? You're not consciously. Consciously, you don't get it. So you're like caught off guard. Why are you so obsessed with that person? Um, so maybe we can refer to the unconscious self. Hey, unconscious self. Hi there. Who are you? I'm your conscious. Hi there. I'm glad we can have a dialogue here. What can I do for Well, you flared up a lot of chemistry in me, a lot of dopamine in me, and you're telling me to go pursue that one. Why do you think that's the one? Well, I'm telling you, conscious, that person has the traits in psychology um, that are pretty much very close to and very similar to the negative traits of your mother. You're telling me I'm obsessed with a girl, let's say, who shares the same negative, not positive, negative traits with my mother. And that's what's flaring up. Yeah, it's a copy. It's a copy. I don't understand time. I'm in a state of timelessness. So I'm just going to regard this person in the present as the mother in the past. Now, in the past, you had pain. She hurt you, negative traits. She was impaired, emotional dyslexia, narcissistic, BPD, whatever's going on with her. Okay, it was painful like that. Now I'm in a suspended kind of place here. I'm kind of frozen here. And I'm waiting until you and your body looks around, you find somebody. Then I'll go, I'll flare it up and I'll say to you, go, chase that one. That's mother. Holy crap. Oh, sorry. Well, there's a Freudian slip. That's the second time I've used the four-letter word on the camera here. Yeah, look at that. 5 years of videos, 3 continents, and 2 swear words. Oh my goodness, today's filled with Freudian slips. Oh my God, that's two in a row here. 2 in 1 day. Let's go back to our imaginary dialogue here. Yeah, so go on, unconscious self. You were saying, what I was saying was, okay, we have an unresolved business here. We got unfinished business with the mother. She didn't meet our needs. She didn't meet the baby's needs, my needs, our needs. She didn't meet the needs of the baby. You see, we're a system. She didn't meet our needs. I see. And we needed mother to love us so we can have our identity and have our golden ball and be okay. We're in pain because she hurt us. We got unfinished business with this mother. I see. So we have unfinished business with the mother. So you're saying that I'm only going to be spellbound and attracted to someone who's like her. That's right. Now you're getting somewhere. Does that mean the closer the person in the present resembles the mother in terms of psychology, in terms of psychological warping, the closer it is, the more excited it is? That's right. If somebody in the present doesn't have the psychological impairment that your mother does, you're going to walk on by. You're not going to be interested. I'm not going to flare up the chemistry. I'm not going to flare up the dopamine. Why should we chase someone who's not your mother to correct the past? Why should we chase someone who's not your mother? You think the person in the present is the mother in the past? That's right. I have no sense of time. It's timeless in here, buddy. Jesus Christ. Okay, so pause here. So the healing process is to make links between the conscious and the unconscious, or the sense of time and the sense of timeless. We got to make the unconscious conscious like that. Okay, and Miss Pines was saying, if you want to really add a little extra chemistry, um, okay, let's take it back to the dialogue. Okay, back to the dialogue. Okay, unconscious up. Is there anything else? Yes. If by chance you meet somebody who possesses the negative traits of both your parents, your mother and your father, I'm really going to flare up. You're going to be in full limerence. You're going to be mesmerized, hypnotized, spellbound, popular, euphoria. Euphoria. What's with the euphoria? Why am I in euphoria? Because babies feel euphoria when they're nursing with the mother. They're in a blissful one. It's oceanic ecstasy, unio mystica. It's a blissful thing. It's a paradisical kind of thing, and all the chemistry related to it, immense oxytocin, immense serotonin, and that's what's needed for the child to develop. So you're feeling this great blissful feelings. You're feeling um, these exciting feelings. So that's like a double dose. That's right. If you meet somebody, so let's just say the guy to the lady. So if you meet a lady who happens to possess simultaneously, she embodies both the negative traits of your mother and father. Man, oh man, I'm gonna flare it up. Man, oh man, I'm gonna flare it up. Because in the childhood time, your father played a role in the trauma. You also have unfinished with the father. Your father didn't protect you from the mother. So we got unfinished business with the father. So if she's like the father as well, it's really gonna flare up because you had hope with the mother, failed. You had hope with the father, failed, and she represents both your parents. Man, oh man, there's double dose here like that. Yikes. Okay, so pause here. So maybe as a self, let me just experiment with the self-help exercise here. Let's make up a self-help exercise here on the fly here. So let's take a sheet of paper and write down all the negative traits of your mother. Make a list. Okay, was she narcissistic? Was it all about her? Did she use guilt trip tactics? Was she lying all the time? Was she a smoker, drinker? Oh, she had oral fixations. List all the problems. List some of the core problems. List your complaints about your mother. Okay, as much as you can. And likewise with the father. What's your complaint about? What's the complaint about that? Never around, aloof, didn't want to be involved, leave me alone, wanted to be free, whatever. Usually the father's not around. He's kind of emotionally absent. The mother was maybe too impinging and demanding and engulfing. So you got them. So typically the mother's engulfing, the father's not around, or whatever it is. It's going to be maybe a little unique for each person, but each person has to like a felt sense of it for themselves. Okay, so put the two this put it together. Take the description of the negative traits of your mother and your father, put it together in a bundle, so-called imago or whatever. Now, okay, if you theory is here by Miss Pines, if you find somebody in the present who has those traits of the two, man, oh man, it's really going to flare up. Now, the more pain with the mother, the more flared up it is, the more euphoria. Because the more pain, the more you needed the euphoria. Oh, maybe I should move here. Oh, hang on a second. Let me move here. These guys are going to do their thing. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. Let's try it this way. Yeah, luckily it rained, so We don't got too many people around. Let's do it here. So you're okay. If I go there, people are always passing by. Maybe let's just try it here. One second. While I'm at it, let me take another break here. One second. Perspiration break here. Okay, one second. Okay, how's this? Is this gonna work? Let's try this a bit. Get the guys. They're gonna fix the pyramid there, I think. Yeah, okay. The paint's been peeling off the thing. Well, I respect their privacy too, so maybe I should just leave it like that. Oh, it's kind of cool having the pyramid in the background. I've discussed how in psychology there are many three-point uh, models or theories in psychology. So if you want to run down a couple of them, check out the last video at the very end, by the way. So 3 points. Masterson's got a couple in there. Um, Interpretation, pattern, when did it begin, and to see it now, example of it, 3 points like that. Self-activation triggers abandonment depression, which leads to defense, 3 points. You want to find the third side of the coin, so either or, both and down, so on down the line. Okay, so let's pick up on our imaginary. So, is that too distracting? Should I just? Is that okay if I do it this way? I'm trying to figure out what they might be saying. Come on, man, hold it straight, will you? You're holding it. You're making me do all the work here. You're so lazy. Well, I'm being passive aggressive. I mean, what are you angry about? Come on, we're a team here. We'll go for a coffee afterwards. Tell me your complaint. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, maybe I should. Maybe I should move it up a bit. Yeah, it's not too busy around here. Luckily, because of the rain, it just rained, so a little bit of luck here. Let's try this. Problem is, people are going to walk behind me. Okay, so let's go back to this imaginary self-help exercise, or self-help, a bona fide potential self-help exercise. So think about the last time you felt this puppy love, spellbound infatuation called transference love, romantic love, passionate love, this crazy stuff. We know all about it, right? Yeah, think about that person. Did that person reflect or have both negative traits of your parents? Remember, this spellbound stuff, it's going to be something negative. Huh? Now, in the case where the mother was functional and loving and gave the baby secure attachment style, so he had his identity and he can do companionate love. That's a different story. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the spellbound stuff. So something to watch out for if you're madly in love with somebody. Um, that's you got to realize you were excited because the puppet master with them said, "That's the one. That's the negative mother. There she is." And you're saying, "Well, that's the right." Why do you say she's Mrs. Right? Well, you think she's right because she's a copy. She's a quote unquote copy of your mother in the past, and she's right because you have unfinished business with the mother. So find someone just like your mother, and that part of the brain doesn't know time. So that part of the brain driving the thing says, "All right, now it's Mrs. Right." She's not consciously. She's not Mrs. Right. Unconsciously, you think she's Mrs. Right, in the sense that you unconsciously think that's your mother in the past. You're in the nursery. That person's going to give you the blissful oneness. It's going to give you that time of fusion, symbiosis, merging. That's where all the euphoria is. All this euphoria is timeless. You're floating, blissful stuff. All these poets and romantic songs and novels and endless quotations about this spellbound kind of love. Um, okay, play Melanie Thornton's music video to her song "Love How You Love Me." All the couples are floating up in the air to reflect this. There's no sense of time. They don't need to sleep or eat. Uh, and Some people think, yeah, it kind of like it's like a mild addiction or something. You might um, um, it has a lot in common with the chemistry of addictive activities. I don't know about that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a biologist. Not a chemist. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. But a lot of these people are saying it is. Yesterday's quote was the last video's quote was, she said yes, people can get it. Oh, was it Lemke? People can get addicted to romantic love, puppy love like that. It can be addictive. Um, I hope the audio gets through on this video here, because last time it wasn't even really worth playing it back. Okay, is the audio? I'm not sure how this is going to come across on the playback. Anyways, I'll do in part B. We'll do the quotes here. I'm still just doing a preview of what I partially remember of one of the quotes. Oh, something's happening. Come on, phone, hold up on me, will you? What's going on? This phone has so many little odd quirks. I haven't read the manual inside the show. Okay, so that's one theory about why we choose who we choose in the spellbound phenomena. Okay, so um, we also play Dan McCafferty singing "Love Leads to Madness." We also play the Doobie Brothers' song "What a Fool Believes." You believe that's the one who's going to heal your past. You believe a magical time machine will appear and you're going to fix the past, go back in the past. So consciously, you don't even think in those terms. Consciously, your reasonable mind is blotted out. Your unconscious is taken over. Step aside, conscious mind. I've got an agenda here. That's my mother, and we're going to get her needs met. So I want you to um, just receive her as being the beautiful mother that you should have received. And so that's what I expect. And if she's not doing it, I'm going to send you cortisol, adrenaline, and dopamine. Get dopamine means chase. Dopamine says, come on, motivation, pursuit, anticipation, get, go, right? So in the trauma mode, so in the original trauma mode, the more trauma there is, the more dopamine there's going to be. We're now, that's called the dopaminergic mind. Some people think we're in a dopaminergic society kind of thing, where there's too much dopamine. There's a natural dopamine, but there's also what's called a disturbed or excessive dopamine post the trauma because you're pursuing. What are you pursuing? It's excessive because you're pursuing a mirage mother, and you're in a delirious euphoria, but the pain is there. The pain says, well, you got to chase, but there's the euphoria, chase, pain, stress, pain, euphoria. It's all troublesome, right? And the more stress you feel, the more chase you feel, the more chase, the more fantasy, then you get the blissful feelings of the fantasy. I might have to make another move here. Let me take another perspiration break here. Jesus. Okay, second thought. Let's take it. Hold on. Let's move it back here. Where's the water? Let's try this. Still okay? Let's try this. In the park, you get all these distracting things, right? Talk about distracting. Whoa! Sorry, hold on a second. One more second. What's happening here? I feel like I'm going to fall back. Huh? Gotta get comfortable here. Oh, is this going to work? Oh boy. Just barely. Let's do it this way. Okay, one more adjustment here. Hold on a second. Yeah, a little better, a little better. Okay. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Not everybody experiences this blissful stuff. Some people say, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had this mad, crazy, falling in love thing. Well, either they're healthy, so that's lucky, right? um, so they have a warm companion in love, that kind of thing. Or another one is the attachment style they developed with the mother was so painful. Okay, they deactivated the whole thing. So they're detached, schizoid. They never want to, you know, they might be in fantasy mode, but they won't connect with anybody. And if they do connect with people, it's only in a sense of survival, of having some kind of physical comfort. So they're the schizoid types. Apparently, the schizoid types, they might be involved in a romantic relationship for a short time, not for love or even spellbound feeling, just for some feeling of warmth and safety with the mother that was missing. That's the best. That's the closest thing they can do, kind of thing. So they don't feel the falling in love stuff. But so there's one person's quote about that. Oh, we do it. This is okay. Oh, Jesus. Also, let me try again. Oh, my goodness. Uh, it's very soggy, and my chair is not designed for soft grass like this, soft, muddy grass like this. Okay, let's do another one more. I usually have to find like a slight slope, like the right angle to do. Okay, never mind. Let's get back on track here. Okay, so in summary, 2 points. The more trauma with the mother, the more pain with the mother, the more the unconscious says, um, I'm gonna. The more the unconscious is gonna flare up the chemistry, flare up the wiring, where you need the bliss with the mother. So look for somebody who resembles the mother in some psychological way. Could be a physical way or some other kind of way. Usually it's a psychological way. It's their attitude. It's their personality. Um, it, um, if you can't find it, you might feel some of it if they resemble the mother physically, or if they have some other traits that resemble the parent like that. It could happen like that. Okay, so that means you're back. You got the hope. There's the fantasy. Chase. So in the chase mode, you're feeling the euphoria. No time, space, no sense of time. You feel like that phase the baby's in is called infantile megalomania. He feels like a god, a king, all powerful. So he feels powerful. And oh yeah, she said when you're in that mode, you walk down the street, floating, so happy. You're smiling, saying hi to everybody, even complete strangers. You have this warm, glowing love for everybody. You love the world, kind of thing. So your outlook is very oxytocin based, serotonin based. So you're nice to everybody. So if you see somebody very happy, who just says hi to you, you know what's going on. They met someone who reminded them of their mother. They're in what's called limerence, the honeymoon phase like that. Okay, so that's part of it. Um, you want to resume development. You want to get your needs back, and the chemistry seems to be the blissful euphoria chemistry, plus the stress of it all. And the stress makes you chase. Now, dopamine is exciting because in the dopaminergic chase of the person in the present, you've got a lot of fantasies going, and those fantasies um, give you the hope of the bliss. So you're getting the bliss with the fantasies and the chase. So chase, fantasies, bliss, stress, chase, fantasies, bliss, good chemistry, stress. It's like it cycles around like that. So that's a kind of a madness like that. And this kind of process, I don't know, has some resemblance to it. It can be. Um, oh yeah, she has a quote. In part B, I'll read out a quote from Miss Pines, or another. Oh, Mister. No, not Miss Pines. Another one. It's either Pines or Welsh. Welsh or Welsh. I forgot which one. One of them said that. I didn't know this. I just found it this morning. That there's a special AA group for these types. So if you have a problem with addiction to obsessive love, limerence, this madness love, and you're kind of always caught there, you can never get it to companion love. You can never evolve it to regular mutual love, and you're kind of stuck with this crazy stuff. There's a support group called Romantic Obsessive Love Anonymous or something. I forgot the exact title. And they use this 12 steps like that. So people sit in a circle, share their knowledge, share their experience. You're not alone. You got this problem. He's got this problem. What's the problem? The problem is the baby needs the blissful oneness of the mother. That euphoria thing called delirious euphoria, oceanic feeling, this blissful feeling. Didn't get it. So, um, so when you find somebody who reminds you of the mother, you're kind of getting it, and you hope it to continue, because the ultimate goal is we still have some kind of the unconscious has the hope for the fulfillment of those old unfulfilled needs for the blissful time with the mother to resume development, so you get your identity, your golden ball, natural state, and you feel whole and healed, and then you live in love in the regular place. So that there's an immense hope like that. Otherwise, we're stuck in pain, and now with the pain, you got to fantasize, chase, pain, fantasize, chase, pain, fantasize, change. You're in this kind of process like that, and you're stuck like that. So you go to sit in a circle, and you support each other like that. So I didn't know this was a group like that. We had a quote about that when we talked about the gambling one. Somebody said that they don't think GA would work. Gambling Anonymous would work. Gamblers Anonymous would work because the addiction is so strong that when they sat in a circle, they would start, and in 5 minutes, somebody would pull out a deck of cards and all get excited, or somebody would happen to have a paradise or something, because it's just so strong. So you need a good counselor. You need a good ritual process to make it safe, like that. But most of these self-help groups, there's no therapist. They're just somebody's leading, or you take turns leading or something. So they kind of fall apart like that. But you're supposed to have some kind of protocol. But some addictions are so strong, right? Okay, and the other point, and then the second point was the combination idea. If the person you're spellbound with, notice if they possess the negative traits of your parents. So let's make something up here. So let's say the mother was passive aggressive, okay, psychologically aggressive, looks sweet, but did all these covert things to make you angry. You didn't know about it. Let's say she was a waif narcissist or passive aggressive narcissist. No, a passive aggressive narcissist. A kind of narcissist called passive aggressive narcissist. So let's say the mother was a passive aggressive narcissist, or whatever. Let's say she was a waif narcissist, or let's say she was a turtle narcissist, and you list the adjectives of her like that. and describe the father. Let's say he was a Don Juan type, a playboy type. List those traits. Maybe he was kind of manic. So manic. So let's say the father was type A workaholic manic. Let's say the mother was a sneaky, passive aggressive, entitled, always right. Put those two together. Put that deadly combination together, and find somebody who's both. Find somebody who's sneaky, psychologically passive aggressive, and they're kind of manic at the same time. You might be really spellbound. There's both of my parents in one, two in one. Oh my God! Right? Get the idea? Oh man, sorry about this. You know what it is? Why I'm sweating? I did take a coffee this time before starting, and I'm really kind of a. Yeah, one sec. Okay, never mind about the coffee. One sec. Hey, those guys accidentally made the thing artistic. Check out that. It's almost like it's like a space age. Man, oh man, I wish I could remember the other quotes. It's in the phone. I cannot. This phone doesn't have the option. If I hit the pause button, look up the quotes and come back, the video shuts out. So I have no flexibility in this mode here. So let's see what else is coming up. The theme of the quotes in part B, when you go to part B, the theme of it is mainly about the unconscious motivation of why we choose. Um, so unfinished business, once again, as we discussed here. That's sort of the main ones there. Okay. Oh man, oh man. It's funny. There's a quote in there about memory. You see, I just posted these quotes mainly last night and this morning, kind of thing. I was kind of rushing out, so it should be fresh in my mind, right? But here I am talking, and I forgot most of it. Okay, there's a quote that refers to this phenomenon. According to the quote, my hippocampus is damaged. So in trauma, the hippocampus can get damaged. So hippocampus is responsible for memory, conscious memory. So um, the one example of the hippocampus being damaged is, she said, let's say you're trying to phone somebody. So you see the number clearly. We got it. Okay. And you start to dial it. You dial the first number. What was it again? And you forgot already. So it's just a seven-digit number. Normally, it should be easy. It should be easy. One should easily be able to remember the number. Okay, turn the page and dial the number. But if you dial like two numbers, what was it again? Go back, try again. What was it again? Go back, and you constantly do this. She thinks that's a sign of the hippocampus being damaged. That I have that problem myself. I tend to have a. I'm a little forgetful and absent-minded like that myself. Man, oh man, what else is there? Um, um, okay, not an important point, but somebody made just a little movie a trivia point. That famous movie, Pretty Woman movie. I vaguely remember it myself, but she said that the original version of the film was they weren't going to get married at the end. Um, it was unrealistic. Um, the extreme opposites like that, or different worlds kind of thing. So they weren't going to get married. But then when they previewed it to the audience, they all complained, "No, you got to keep together. They got to get married at the end. It's a fairy tale kind of thing. You got to change the ending so they do get married at the end." Seriously, really? You really? That's what you? Yeah, we all want that. We all want a happy ending. Come on, give us a happy ending, fantasy ending. Want to feel good? We want to feel good that each found the blissful mother, respectively, of their past, and they're going to resume development. See, normally these things break up because in this infatuation of obsessive love, transfers of, if you're not conscious, um, um, each person is expecting the other person to meet their symbiotic needs. Now, some might be more in pain around it, so they might be more demanding. The other person backs off, and they're tired of your clinging, your obsessive. They want to know where you are every minute. You got to call them every second. You got to account for yourself all the time. They feel tired and bored with this. Those people on the receiving end of that feel burnout. Oh yeah, she calls that relationship burnout. If the other one's too clingy like that. And ironically, the other one may have also had that, but commonly, it doesn't fit perfectly like that. One will have too much pain around it and be more demanding. The other has to back off. So you got the famous two dance, right? Pursuer, distancer, like that. Sometimes they flip a little bit. Um, some scenarios, one is very focused on the symbiosis. Another one said, I had a lot of symbiosis with my family. I'm okay there. I never had a chance to develop. I never had a secure base to find myself, find my autonomy, find my curiosity, discover myself, to explore like that. I never had that chance. I've got my symbiotic needs met, but I want to move forward in the second part. And the partner might say, well, I never got that symbiotic one, so I want you to pull in with me to the symbiotic one. No, I had that. I don't want to go there. I want the further part. So you play the secure base for me to find myself. No, you play the mother who's giving me my symbiotic needs map. So you can see the conflict like that, right? That's the case. So in normal development, you got the main phases, right? The symbiotic phase up until 18 months, and the explorer phase. Now Voyager seek that forth to find yourself, individuation phase. So separation, individuation. Two parts. Right? So separation, okay, that's the oneness, and then finally, post 18 months, you learn about what you like. So one partner might be saying, "I want to learn what I like, but I want you to be like a base for me so I can find myself." Well, you're always leaving me. And that person expects that other person to provide the blissful oneness. They want to be free and they want to be in the cocoon of oneness. Right? So it's another thing to be mindful of in relationships. Right? So typically, if someone says, "I feel smothered," you're too clingy, okay, that person wanted to be free like that. And they may have chosen that person because they thought that person could have been a secure base because that person reminded them of the mother who gave them symbiosis but didn't give them the freedom. So the woman looks to the guy, let's say, "Yeah, you're kind of like my mother. You're very needy. My mother was needy. I got all that. I want to be free. So let's resume that issue. Let me master this problem. You be my mother and I'll be free from you. But you be there so I can find myself in the process. So don't leave. Just be there, but I want to be free." Oh my God. The man says, you're ignoring me like this. I feel thingified like this. Well, the mother's using the husband as a symbolic breast of the mother, so a secure base of the mother to find herself. So neither is doing the companionate thing. They're both struggling with the past issue of not getting their identity to be able to do companionate love, or mutual love, or genuine love, or authentic love, like that. Two people love. I was just thinking about how it might have been nice to play that David Cassidy song, "Lying to Myself." Um, okay, where are we here? Yeah, some of those Partridge Family shows. One of the themes seems to be that um, the family helps out some lonely character. So you got some lonely guy who's oh yeah, one quote coming up is uh, the Welsh guy. He's also a criminologist. He said his line in there is lovelessness may lead to or contributes to lawlessness. Lovelessness often contributes immensely to lawlessness. Did I get it right? Okay, I'll read it properly in Part B. So, in one of the episodes of the Partridge Family, there was a criminal kind of guy who wanted to do a scam, and the family didn't want to participate in this. And the criminal guy said, "Hey, this is the first time I had a parade. Don't rain on my parade." So he was a con man, a scammer guy, and the family was involved in this, but they didn't want to be participating in this. So this guy was lonely, loveless, lonely character. So the family decided to uh, adopt him like a child, take care of him, nurse him for like a week or something like that. He never had that experience before. He felt loved by the family, and everything was okay, right? Similar to the reclusive millionaire guy. You got this reclusive man who does harmful things in the world. Um, I think with his investments and all that. So he's kind of reclusive. He's afraid, um, but um, similar in a similar pattern. The family took care of him and helped him, adopted him, so to speak, and then he was okay at the end like that. So love is one famous another line is love is the second son. I just saw it this morning. So you got the son, love is the second son. So it's all about attachment, right? Attachment. Oh yeah, another version of this is another quote from Miss Pine says, one way to think about selection choice is let's go back to our dialogue. Hey, Papa Master, are there any other situations that cause you to tell me to pursue someone? Yes. Yeah, what is it? Well, your development, your emotional development is at a certain place. So I want you to find someone whose stunted development is at the same kind of fixated place. Really? Why is that? Well, it's mirroring. You're one. It's like you're one. Because the baby's one with the mother, so find someone just like you, right? Yeah, and her side comment was that's why, was it? Ann Teachworth says when she does couples therapy, she almost never gets couples who are like attracts like. People who marry who are very identical, psychologically, physically, even in their appearance, very commonly in their appearance. They look like brother and sister almost, right? But mainly about their emotional development, their psychological trauma, and their upbringing and other factors too. If there's the more they have in common, the more they see like a oneness. They sustain themselves in that kind of way, right? But they don't develop. They stay frozen like that. So they stay in a kind of narcissistic bubble together, and they might be happy their whole lives like that, but they don't develop. They don't really lead like that. Maybe some do, some don't. I don't know. If they're conscious, they can grow together. Marriage can be a healing path, a psychological path, if, big if, you make I statements. You learn how to make I statements. You learn how to make I statements. That's a major topic in our collection on how to make an I statement. So I won't do it here. But if couples can learn how to make I statements, they can grow together. They can heal each other. Marriage can be a healing path because they're going to go through the developmental process together. So in a way, because of the intimacy of the two of them like that, they can kind of be in the blissful oneness together. They can mirror each other and comfort each other like that, and then support each other in Freud in each other's growth and development. And they can. So if they're conscious of the developmental process, the marriage can start off in a blissful euphoria. Okay? So that it start off with the excited thing, and then it can advance to the companion thing. So it can work like that. Often it doesn't, but it can. Oh yeah. So her thing about the like attracts like was, um, it's kind of like the narcissist thing. He looks into the pool of water, sees the reflection. It's all he sees, just himself. So in a way, if you find someone just like you, psychologically and appearance-wise, you kind of feel like it's you. Oh, you're me. Wow. You're in that narcissistic kind of place. So that other person is like a copy of you. Play back to Keith, not Keith. Sorry, David Cassidy, who played the character of Keith in the Partridge Family. Played David Cassidy singing the song. Um, oh boy, hang on. He sang it in the Partridge Family, and as a soloist, he sang it on stage live. Oh man, what's it called again? Oh, I can't. It's on the phone. It's on the phone I'm holding here. He played a song called "One Night Stand." That's it. "One Night Stand." A very interesting song. Very interesting song. So um, the song's about as a musician, he goes from town to town to town. Each town is like a one night stand kind of thing. Maybe it's in the area of promiscuity as well. He can't have relationships. And he said at the end of life, he never had a real relationship. He only had a one night stand. But oh, he would love to settle it down in a town and stay in a town and have a regular life. But he couldn't. He was always in chase mode all the time. And in the chorus, it says he had a fantasy of twinship. He had a fantasy that be someone out there just like him, looked like him, thought like him. They could read each other's minds. They understood each other. They could finish each other's sentences. That kind of thing. He wanted that twinship thing. So the lyric in there. So he had a lyric about it. It's not perfectly clear. He said, "I wish there were two of me," or something. He said it like that, but well, we know what he means. He didn't get mirrored. It's funny that the person who filmed that clip, they did a split thing on the screen, so you saw him in a mirror, like a reflection of himself. So the person who posted that video, the live concert of him as a soloist singing "One Night Stand." Check it out. He did a split screen thing where he did a mirror of himself when he sang the lyric. "I wish there was two of me," and you saw two of them there. So he wasn't mirrored by the mother. He didn't get the symbiotic phase. So that means you don't have your identity. That means there's trauma. When there's trauma, there's dopamine. Dopamine means go chase. So you're always chasing with the hope. I can't stay because you don't have the serotonin to enjoy something. You don't have the oxytocin to love. So back to the song. He said, "I can never love. I can never enjoy. I can only chase." So town to town to town to town. So he spent his whole life on the road eating chocolate bars. Also kind of like a junk food, a junk living or something, a little bit like that. Always on the go. And chocolate, and you see chocolate bars, junk food, that's a little addictive too, right? So he had a little addictive lifestyle with the addictive food, and he's always on the chase like that. Why? Back to the chorus. He was never seen and mirrored. So he had a fantasy that there was someone who could mirror him, someone just like him, a copy of him. You. Yeah, so check out the lyrics to "One Night Stand" by David Cassidy, or the Partridge Family. Well, it's listed as the Partridge Family. Um, Actually, that's the song he played with the millionaire one, the reclusive millionaire one, I think. And song yesterday was "Oh, Lying to Myself" as a soloist. That's as a soloist, Sean Cash, "Lying to Myself." So once again, the more stress because of trauma, the more dopamine. Dopamine's flared up because you don't want to be passive in pain, victimized. You got to chase for safety, chase for mother. But you're out of the nursery, so chase for fantasies of the mother, mirages of the mother, symbols of mother. Okay. Now this pursuit of symbols of mother can take different forms. A, oral fixation. Okay, cookies, food, money, material, matter, things you buy. It's a blipping thing to trigger the time when you were one with the mother to push back the pain. So when you find something that reminds you of your mother, a thing that you buy or a food that you eat, a drink that you drink, it functions as an ersatz self-object, an imaginary breast. Some No, that's not right. something to remind you of the breast, or something to remind you of the uterus, something to remind you of blissful oneness. He means it like that. Almond and Paul. Then, when you blip up those fantasies, it's the good old days, pathological, nostalgic, good old days when you were in the uterus and a blissful euphoria, you get some of the chemistry. And when you get those chemistry, when you get that chemistry of safety and love, it pushes back the stress. So you don't feel the stress and the pain and the chase. When you feel safe, the painful chemicals go back. Painful chemicals come up, chase again, fantasy, blip up the old good old chemistry feelings from the past, painful chemistry feelings go back. Chase to blip up the good chemistry, painful goes back. Chase again, and you're in this loop. You're in this kind of loop. So in this song, um, One Night Stand, it's a little bit like that. You have to chase next town, next, you know. So these are the people who, in a previous quote by, was it Miss, somebody had the quote about they would travel to nice places, but they can never settle in, can never enjoy it. They took a quick selfie. Next, what's the next one? Because they don't have the serotonin to enjoy simple pleasures. They don't have the oxytocin to connect to the place and learn about the place. They don't want to hear about the story about the place. Or they just next. All they got to chase. So I got someone just sitting near me there. Maybe I should change my spot here. But this is one of the mellowest. This is a very rare mellow time here. Um, the school, the school kids they're going to return soon. I think maybe very soon. This is still the summer break here. There's a huge school near me. Usually this place is filled with kids, and it just rained here, and it's a weekday, and it's in the middle of the week like that. But in terms of enjoying the moment, after the rain, it's kind of calm like this. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? So that song, we can bore that song. Did you enjoy the simple pleasure of the rain and how it sounds and it looks and the mood and the freshness of it all? Have you ever felt the rain and seen the rain? Many people with trauma, we have a hard time living in the now. The now is always the past. The past is pain. You can't relax in the present because you don't have the serotonin to do so. Like once again, when there's trauma, the serotonin set point in the brain goes down. The set point for oxytocin goes down. Okay? Because you're in survival mode. Therefore, the set point of stress, cortisol, adrenaline, and dopamine go up. So you're in chase mode. Janoff's interpretation of repetition compulsion is you want to repeat um, in the present a mirage of the past, hoping to correct the set points. But the present isn't the past. It's not going to work. But the pain is still there. So repeat. The positive intention is you want to correct the set points. I'm just staring at a little one of these birds with the orange beak. The main bird here in this park is too far away. If he gets closer, I'll turn the camera. It's an all black. It's like a mini. It's like a baby tiny crow, and his beak and his feet, his webbed feet are all orange, but everything else is like a crow. Okay, can we get him in? Oh, but when he flaps his wings, he's got black and white wings, right? That's your. That's a famous pigeon. Now it's cooling up time. Still recording? My goodness. Okay, still recording. Yeah, this is part A. In part B, I'll run through the quotes, and it's still in preview mode. And yeah, the quotes for this video, like once again in part B, I'll do all the quotes in part B. I wish I could remember more of them. son of a gun. Oh yeah, here's one. Here's a challenging one for Mr. Was it Walsh? Is the guy named Welsh or Walsh? I forgot. He had a kind of a, I don't know. You can either be kind of creeped out by the quote or have empathy for narcissism. His image for narcissism, it's a little. I've never seen anybody put it this way. He said, just to understand, um, metaphorically speaking, the emotional condition of somebody with NPD or Iago personality, bully personality, and so on, is that take an oyster, right? Um, I don't know, I guess you break it or something, and they got the fleshy part in there, right? Now that fleshy part wants to protect itself somehow, so it might create some kind of glassy covering or something. It's damaged, but there's some kind of jelly thing over it or something to consolidate or hold what's left of the person. So the NPD sense of entitlement, grandiosity, all about me, who cares about you? I'm important. This whole thing, that's that glassy shell that's in response to the trauma like that. Yeah, it's not too. I'll have to read it tomorrow properly. So the metaphor means I prefer the pin in the collar one, to tell you the truth. So in trauma, one version of trauma is that the emotional body, it kind of goes flat. So in his oyster metaphor, the fleshy thing gets damaged and there's a glassy covering over it. Maybe the more regular one is the pin goes on the collar. Under the collar, the emotional body goes flat, called flat affect, called alexithymia. What do I feel? Everything's flat. Okay, no, I don't know. I don't know. I can't find the words for my feeling. All the feelings are flat. Where do you find the words? Long ago, that was athemolexia. I have words, but what are the feelings for these words? I have no feelings for my words. I've got these words, but no feelings for the words. Or I can't find the words for my feelings. Either way. So you got alexithymia and athemolexia kind of thing. And of course, the main one is the earth opens up, this core gets the princess core. So core means authentic self. Okay. Like in the Timman, the authentic self is the heart, okay, or the core, or the soul even. So in the myth, Princess Core, okay, she get the earth opens up, she gets pulled down. You got the chasm, the pain, and the soon. Yeah, so the soon, yeah, the soon is related to the covering. Yeah, let's not redo all that. So in many of the videos, I do a kind of overview of some of the core points here. Identification to aggressor, repetition compulsion, Janoff's work, a little bit by Masterson, and some defense mechanisms. So currently, from yesterday and today, we're going to dip a little dip into a little bit about the chemistry of spellbound love, the chemistry of symbiosis, let's say. So you want to be so yeah. One quote was the person who's mindful that they're feeling the blissful euphoria in the body, all the chemistry related, and they're feeling the stress because they're afraid that person can't be the mother in the past to give you your needs. So you're feeling the hope of it all and the reality of the pain the mother failed you. So you're feeling the bliss and the betrayal. You're feeling the mix of it. That's why it's so kind of crazy like that. So just be mindful. You're feeling both the euphoria and the mother's betraying you. Let's let these people pass here also. A real treat in the last video. I was at this park as well. The cat came by, one of the stray cats. It was a real treat. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a quote. We have a quote below about the cat. Oh, I forgot about. Yeah, there is a cat quote in this one below. Yeah, there's one quote about the cat. So some people refer to fairy tales. There is a motif in fairy tales where the cat is used as a symbol of the soul, because people would refer to the embodiment, the moon, the feminine. So the soul is called the feminine. The feeling, the serene, inexhaustible fullness of being, this calm beingness. You're embodied, you're the soul, like the moon, the powerful stillness and calm of the moon, the soul like that. So they would say, okay, moon and sun, feminine, masculine. So the moon would be the feminine. Masculine is like the act of bright doing, and you come from the being like that. So they'd use the being as the feminine. Now, what animal, so to symbolize the feminine, what animal out there really captures the imagination of the feminine qualities? Right? So cats have a natural grace, calm in their movement. Think about the models on the catwalk. Right? The ladies are told to walk like a cat because the men are staring at their soul, kind of thing. Um, so they're embodied, they're graceful, they have a certain independence, they have a certain natural wildness. Oh yeah, they're the only pet that maintain their kind of free spirit like that. So that's another part of it. So, so a lot of people think there are some fairy tales where the princess morphs into a cat, okay, and the cat runs away, morphs into a bird or a fox or a deer. Sometimes the cat. So the cat is a symbol of the soul. Put it that way in fairy tales. So describe the adjectives of the cat. It's graceful, calm, embodied walk. Well, when a human being's embodied, they'd kind of walk like a cat, wouldn't they? When a person's embodied, when they're alive just in the body, okay, like most animals, they kind of have an embodiment. They're alive in the body, right? So cats have that, right? The idea that they're wild, the soul should be free, the cats are kind of free. Right? Well, there's our orange-beaked bird over there. And when it dries up, the dragonflies come out. So it's a nice little park. I got the dragonflies here, stray cats, the orange-beaked birds. Is that it? Oh, the pigeons, of course. I've told the pigeon jokes, I don't know, at least a dozen times already, so I'll give it a break on the pigeon joke. But there's an excellent joke over the pigeon. uh, no, no, let's do another time. I'm gonna wind this video down here in a minute. If I if I can I check the time with this thing? Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. No, no, let's leave it the way it is. I'm hoping the audio is still okay with this. What else about the cat? Marie Louise Von Franz makes a big deal about the cat as a symbol of the soul. And this lady in the quote below, Miss Luke, I remember, yeah, she made a reference to it. So in a myth or fairy tale, when a symbol of your soul comes back to you, poofs back to the princess, and you get married, now you're embodied and your doing comes from the being, and then you're healed. Okay, maiden, think about the maiden king image. Maiden king. Maiden is the feminine, maiden king. The doing comes from the feminine. When your doing comes from the being, Okay, your being is heart-based, feeling-based. Okay, the virtue, ethics, morality, and all the capacities of the real self, and living in the present. And Freud is going to be there, and a whole long list like that. So your doing comes from the being made in king, written as one word like that. Woodman's line is, if the feminine is wounded, then the masculine is distorted. It's whack. Kristen Wilson's line is, if you're not in your body, if you don't have the feminine, if it flew away like that, then you're not making sense. Literally. You're disembodied, so you don't have your sense of self, and you're not making sense because you're doing the irrational thing of looking for somebody in the present to remind you the mother in the past, so you resume development. Or you look for something to trigger the past. You're still dwelling in the past, lingering in the past, not making sense. And your cortex gives you rationalizations to make you unaware of it because you're in a pain around it. So you got to pursue in dopamine manic mode. Dopamania, one guy called it. We posted some quotes from the book Molecules of More. And I noticed when that book got translated into the Romanian language, the editor uh, called the book Dopamania. That's pretty good. So we're not making sense. Always in manic, chase for symbols to trigger the blissful feelings, to push back the pain, chase, to push back the pain, chase the book. You can't enjoy anything. So now we're into self. Now we're into gobbling the planet mode. So now we're devouring the planet like that. So to start, we're not making sense. It doesn't make sense to be so greedy and avarice and plunder and feel entitled and do it again and again, chase. And one guy had the line about, okay, I talked about it already last time. Let's not open up the topic on the plunder system. But anyways, too much trauma, too much dopamine means we're in chase mode. That's greed mode. So that leads to the pillage idea. Hold a sec. Let's let these people pass here first. Any final thoughts here? Um, okay, your mission, submitted for your approval and consideration, should you choose to accept it, is to click the more link below here and see if there's any quotes that are of interest. Yeah, okay, that's part. Okay, that's one option. Option one, to do the regular thing, read the quotes, and if there's something that catches your interest, just do what's called free association. What freely springs to mind, that's making more of the unconscious conscious, just when you call free association. And when a feeling comes, validate the feeling. One way to do it is to simply say, I must have a very good reason for feeling this. What's the hardest thing about this feeling? And and part two of this mission is to check out that new self-help exercise. See what you think. Can we update it? What refinements do we need? So once again, what am I talking about? Take a sheet of paper, write down father on. Okay, fold it vertically, and take a regular sheet of paper, fold it vertically, so you got a crease in the middle. Um, on the left side, put father. On the right side, put mother or whatever. And underneath father and mother, list all the negative things about them. Be honest. Be honest. Never mind the positive side. The trauma is the negative stuff. That's what we're trying to deal with. So list all the negative stuff of the two, father and mother. And then think about the last time you were spellbound with somebody. Does it fit? Does that quote unquote limerent object, so you're the limerent, The one you're spellbound with, obsessed with, is the limerent object. Does that person have those traits that you wrote down? Did it work? Let's say one parent was a liar. They lied all the time. Let's say they were proud, full of vanity. Let's say another parent was kind of depressed or something. I don't know. So, was the person you're in love with depressed and lied a lot? Okay, well, let's say the parents were both kind of pretend happy. Let's say they were both pretend happy. He was pretend happy. She was pretend happy. Don't talk about feelings. Don't talk about anything true. Just sugarcoat everything. Deny, deny, deny. Put on a happy face. Did both parents put on a happy face? Maybe you're drawn to someone like that. So put it this way: if neither of the parents ever had an intimate, real ability to share uh, or make an I statement with each other, maybe you'll only be attracted to someone who never made I statements. And then with that person, come on, make an I statement. Tell me the truth. What do you really feel? Don't lie. Don't lie. My parents lied. I chose you because you always lie. I want to change you. I want to change my parents. So your fantasy is that if your parents are liars, simply, let's just keep it simple. If your parents are both liars, and you're spellbound by finding somebody who lies a lot, your agenda is you're thinking your unconscious thinks, aha, I'm going to battle with my parents. I'm going to make them tell the truth. Tell me the truth. So you're fighting with the person that present tell you the truth. They won't tell you the truth. You chose them because they won't tell you the truth, and the battle continues. You resume the battle. Now you're stubborn. You're only mesmerized by someone who adamantly and stubbornly won't tell the truth. And you're going to continue the battle. As a child, you wanted your parents to tell the truth. So you find someone who's like your parents. Come on, tell me the truth. Respect me. Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me all the time. But they can tell the truth. Okay. So now go to the quotes for the past couple of days on why people lie. Why people lie. We got the vanity one, and then we got the identification of the aggressor one, and the projection one, and the fan. Okay, and yeah, yeah. So check out those quotes on why we lie. Actually, Miss Lemke has one in there about. Go to the short section in our channel here. Look up the one by Miss Lemke. It's a short clip, so you'll see her. She's wearing glasses and a red and blue outfit. It's only like a 3 minute clip. That's a great little clip. Um, it's got no views, or maybe one view or two views or something. That's a great clip of hers. My goodness, that's a jam-packed clip. Yeah, I'll play it again sometimes. It's a recent interview she did about maybe a month ago. Um, so look up what's her first name, Annie or Anne or something. Oh, Anna Lemke from let's say September, yeah, early September 2025. About a 1 hour interview. Um, with the young man. I forgot his name. That one there. That's a pretty good interview. That's quite a good interview of hers, actually. She shared quite a lot there. Yeah. At the end of that interview, one thing I like that she said at the end is the importance of narrative, because narrative gives you a sense of lived experience and lived time. Time is the healer. When you understand the time is in the sense of time, you're healing. So your experiences are all timeless. Can you put it in time? Narrative does that. Narrative gives you a sense of lived time and time. Otherwise, you're stuck in the past all the time, spinning it around, recreating mirages of the past. So the present is just a repetition of the past, new edition of the past, contemporary replay of the past, still the past. Okay, Berger's metaphors, the 45 record, you only have one tune, 145, new situation, play that same old tune, same old tune. You're repeating the same imprint. The 45 is one song. He only has one song. Every neurotic is a music enthusiast, but he only has 145. He carries it with him everywhere he goes. Every time he sees a turntable with never-ending fiery ardor, he says, he plays his one and only tune. So you can play the passive victim side, that's considered the benign one, or you coax others to disappoint you, misuse the situation so people disappoint you, orchestrate, manufacture somehow that they disappoint you, or just choose people you know who disappoint you, so you can know your mother disappointed you. Or the more disturbed one, the more complicated one, due to more trauma, is identification with the aggressor. Or in the new situation, you play the mother, and you find others as proxies to play you to shame, so you can know mother shamed you if you're the one who does the shaming, because you identified with her and you shamed someone else, and that other person is you. Part B is you are angry with your mother, so when you just shame, poof, there's your mother. You play yourself, and your anger at the mother you displace on the one you just shamed, who just played you a moment ago. And there's like no time in that brain, so it's at the same time on another level. And due to the symbiosis, the other person who played you is also your mother. So you on your side, you can play mother, and the other one plays you, and then flips. You play you, and the other one plays your mother. And when the other one plays your mother, after they just played you, you're angry at the mother you displaced, and the one you just played you is now, whom you now see as your mother. So that's more complicated like that with the identification of the aggressor. So in new situations, you might play um, the more benign one, the clinger, pleaser, kind of anxious one, a little bit like that. Um, or the more detached one, the more aloof one, the more colder one, let's say, called identification of the aggressor. So in attachment theory, there is this. So the basic thing with attachment theory is, what's her name, is Ainsworth or something. Uh, when the mother left the room or something, the kids were clinging, please, please. They were scared like that. So that led to an anxious attachment style. So they go through life kind of anxious like that. The detached one or the avoidant one was, don't need your mother, sour grapes, cocoon, turtle, shell. So they don't really. So when the mother returns, who are you? I don't know. I don't need you. But the anxious one is they still have that kind of childlike hope. Please don't leave me. Please, please, please. So in relationships, you often see this dynamic. One's the codependent pleaser clinger, the other one's back off, the narcissistic cold one. And each wants to see the other as the parent in the past to correct their past. So they're in conflict mode like that. So we have a huge topic in our collection called the stingers and the clingers. A lot of material there. Yeah, I guess in the rain, the cats don't come out in the rain. Eh? That's too bad. So those cats are hiding somewhere. Um, yeah, okay, let's just wrap it up here. Okay, so thanks very much. This is part A of, sorry, part one of two of TQ 3110, I believe. And so you'll see the quotes below. And in part two, I'll continue with our discussion of quotes, which are what I've been doing is mainly a preview of 31, oh boy, 31, 58, and 9. So what I've been talking about in this video here, and I'll continue in part two. It's mainly I'm mainly in preview mode of 31, 58, and 9. So if you want to know what I'm talking about here, check out 31, 58, and 9. And very importantly, check out the past video, the past week of quotes. There's a lot of good quotes on the dopamine phenomena. Okay, Professor Previck and Lemke and others, dopamania. Yeah, close up with the pigeon joke after all. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's see. Okay, so it's about a lady entering midlife. Yeah, by the way, Midlife is kind of like you realize that the first half of life you've been pursuing simple as a mother. At midlife, you realize, what am I doing here? Let me know my story. Let me face the truth. Let me face the knowledge and the reality. Mother failed me. She betrayed me. Greatest hurt of all, and do the mourning process, working through process, apprehension, catharsis, release, like that, and then you get your feelings back, called the mourning process. So midlife is that kind of developmental transition, like that. And then in the second half of life, uh, it's more generative, it's more creative, it's more about a connection to yourself. You're more embodied, like that. Some people avoid it. They want to stay in the first half of life their whole life. So there was a woman who was in this moment. She had a midlife moment. She wanted to cling and keep on and stay with the youthful agenda that someday her ship will come in, her parade will come in. She'll get something that corrects her childhood past, where she'll have her identity in gold ball, but doesn't know what she's doing. So she had a pursuit for fame and money and all that. So to be seen, the power, mirror, seen, others see them. Money, status, people will see them. She had a lot of ambition for fame and money and stardom and all that. So this woman was getting some painful feelings about the reality that she is getting older. She's getting sags under the eyes, hair's turning gray. What the hell here? Oh my! I don't want to face this. No, no, I don't want to face this. So, so she overheard something about reincarnation, and she thought, hey, wait a minute. Let me keep the fantasy that I can just keep going in the next life. Yeah, does that work? So she asked somebody who was considered a little bit knowledgeable about these new age ideas. But that fellow happens to be a comedian, a guy named Steve Barron. So he understood the woman's dilemma. He understood what she was facing. So this woman said to the comedian guy, hey, you, hey, Mr. Behrman, what's the deal with this reincarnation thing? Okay, and as just said, he knows what she's going through. So his reply to her was, oh, it's funny how things work out. I once knew this man who wanted to be wealthy in his lifetime. He was reincarnated as a pigeon and made a deposit on a BMW. Okay. And she laughed when she heard the joke, I remember. Yeah. So he didn't shame her for her infantile, youthful agenda. He helped her to face her anger, her fantasy to get rich, her anger, the play on the pigeon leaving the deposit idea, the play on words there, the double. Yeah, that's another clue. Oh, think about that. There's a clue. If the parents had, if their humor was dark humor, if they were cynical, right? Let's say they were both like that. My guess is you'll only be attracted to someone with dark humor, bitter banter, sarcasm, cynical, and so on. Yeah. A very good book. Another theory on why we choose the mates we choose is a book by Miss Anne Teachworth. She's got an excellent book called Why We Choose the Mates We Choose, or Why We Choose the Mates We Do, or something like that. Excellent book. I discussed it at length about a half a year ago, so you'll find it in the channel here. Just type in Teachworth in the channel in the search. Yeah, see if you go to AI. Hey, AI, um, is anybody discussing the work of Miss Anne Teachworth? Are there any good quotes from her book? The AI won't take you to this channel. Can you believe it? It's pretty dumb that way. Yeah, okay, so next time I'm here, maybe we'll see the new paint. We'll have a shiny golden top part. Maybe I'll redo maybe I'll celebrate it by running through some of the 3 point models of psychology mentioned already. Okay, disclaimer once again, disclaimer times 1,000. I have not been analyzed. Played Joni Mitchell's song This Flight Tonight, made popular by Dan McCafferty. I'd love to be on this flight tonight, find an analyst, and find my blind spots. Okay, I only have a BA. I have not been analyzed. I've never studied psychology. I'm not a counselor, therapist, nothing like that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a cultural anthropologist. I'm not a biologist or chemist. Oh, jeez. Well, somebody just sat just to my side here on the wet grass here. Oh, this guy's clever. He's got waterproof pants, some kind of a pants made out of a material, waterproof material. Um, Maybe I can close it up back here. One sec. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, let's close it up here. Any final thoughts? Um, hmm. I'd love to end up. Oh, see now. See, I moved, and he moved. There was a fellow. Um, I was staring at me. Somebody was very curious about what I'm talking about. He sat just like maybe 5 meters to my side there. And he was. I can tell he was trying to overhear what I'm saying. So I moved, and he got up and left, kind of thing. Yeah. So this material, by the way, is for people in midlife. Younger people are not going to be interested in this material because in the young phase, you're still in dopamine chase, right? You only realize the trauma usually in midlife. Usually in midlife, there's some sense, there's some hunch that something's off, something's missing. Okay, the embodiment's missing, the feeling self is missing. So that might come to your attention because there were losses, and you didn't mourn the loss, and you're confused. Why didn't I mourn the loss? Something's wrong here. Okay, all the pain that's building up, snowballing effect. You might have Freudian slips. You might be a little irritable suddenly in midlife. Sometimes there's full-blown onset of delayed PTSD. So the developmental trauma was cloaked over with the false self. But the false self functioned like a sponge which dried out and then it comes up. So now in midlife, you might feel like a nervous breakdown because, oh my God, PTSD checklist, check, check, check. What the hell? Why does the person have a PTSD when they don't can't really think of any severe trauma like that? Well, there was trauma called developmental trauma, interpersonal trauma, relational trauma, weaning trauma, strain trauma, perinatal trauma, and so on down the line. And it was just cloaked over with your defensive structure. Now it's now it's painful to always bury the pain of your trauma, so it comes up. It comes up at midlife somehow. So the delayed onset of PTSD in midlife sometimes takes place. So usually it's just a hunch, or usually things. Usually, yeah. There's another. Yeah, there's another. Yeah. Some people think that um, in older times, when people got into the second half of life, things got kind of worse for people. They thought that's because, well, they're getting older, getting tired. It's not really. The shrinks say, no, your defensive structure is wearing out, and your trauma in the past is coming to you, and you're getting the fatigue of that. Right? So losses in later life trigger up old losses, the loss of the good mother. In many cases, the good mother, quote unquote, died at birth. The mother was wonderful when the baby was in the uterus, but at the birth time, the mother, quote, the goodness of the mother, suddenly the baby sees the mother as the wicked queen. What the hell? There's a whole topic about this issue about how in fairy tales the good mother dies at birth and there's this wicked stepmother. No, it's the same woman, but the baby perceives it in either or like that. Psychic splitting. Major topic in our collection: psychic splitting, projective identification, identification of the aggressor. We cover all the defense mechanisms here. Actually, recently there was a very good discussion on displacement, compensation, conversion, projection, psychic splitting, repetition compulsion, by one author. We did in one video. We did them all. It was good. It was a good one. Um, yeah, recently we featured Rick Santer's My Life in My Hands. Very good song. I only found a clip of it, but anyways, the rapper we played time after time, mistreating heart a little bit. Winter Freeze. Did we play Winter Freeze? The Dream, Ashes. Oh, Lovesick, of course, is the main one. Lovesick. So Rick Sanchez is one of our musical voices, and now David Cassidy. To my surprise, he's now become one of our musical voices, David Cassidy. So we featured several songs from the Partridge Family. Unfortunately, they don't show up on this video here because it's blocked and all that. But we played One of These Nights, Yes Love. That's a great song. Man, oh man, if you want to start off with David Cassidy, check out that song there. It's One of These Nights, Yes Love. That's really a nice pop song, and several others. The song they played a little bit of you, a little bit of me, something a part of you, a little part of you, a little part of me, something like that. That song was featured in the episode on gaslighting. The Partridge Family show paid a tribute to the film Gaslight. The line in there is Keith said to the younger brothers, "You know, you guys, I know what you're doing is for a good cause, but you made me feel like I was in the middle of that film." The song played in that episode was a good one. I forgot what it's called. I woke up in love this morning. Another good one. I woke up in love this morning. A little bit of me, a little bit of you, or something like that. One of these nights, yes, love. Oh, another one. Yeah, the one about the millionaire, the one about the mad millionaire. That song in there. That's called One Night Stand. That one, right? A couple of others. Any final thoughts here? At least with this phone, I've got lots of battery on this phone here. Man, oh man! Normally we play a song at the end. How can I find a fun way to close up this video here? No stray cat. Little nervous laughter on my side here. Yeah. So by the way, the phenomena of being triggered. Okay, that's a very useful topic in our collection. That some little thing in the present reminds you of the past. So you want to look at the antecedent. Search for the antecedent. Okay, whenever you're triggered, search for the antecedent. Unprocessed trauma, unmourned losses, search for that stuff. Unmet needs, name the unmet needs, and the chemistry is coming to you. So the pain and the chemistry, called anxiety, the old fears, all that old fears. Now, when the child was terrorized by the mother, the final pathway was anger. So anger in the present was anger in the past. Most of the time when you're triggered, it's for the past. So look for the antecedent, that's where it is. Well, one of these nights. Well, do me a favor, look up the song "Lying to Myself" by David Cassidy, and I'll see you in part two. For the love of narrative medicine, we'll see you in part two.